what was it about Portland?
I think we're very excited when we first learned that the team that our grandfather owned was in Portland. I think Portland is known for its real love of the independent spirit and kind of people carving their own path and doing things their own way, and it directly mirrored the kind of spirit of this baseball team. The kind of our grandfather started this really kind of scrappy group of rejects to kind of go up against the bigger establishment of Major League Baseball. So I just think the team really kind of paralleled the spirit of the city at the time, and it was a really great marriage between the two.
And I think that I used to think oh, it's so lucky that it happened in Portland, because Portland is kind of such like a hotbed for cultural creativity, But I don't think it was a coincidence at all. I don't think it was lucky. I think that there was actually a reason that the Mavericks happened in this city, and it's just been fantastic. We've been telling everyone this has become kind of our home away from home in a sense. Last 3 or 4 years, we've always found kind of lame excuses to come up here just to hang out, but also work on the documentary. So it's been fun.
And why that scrappy reject team? Why is that a thing that would happen in Portland in the 70s?
Yeah, it just seemed like this at the time, the people that played on this team, they played for $300 a month. So outside of baseball season, during the year, they worked at the hardware store, they were bus drivers, they taught in the public school system, and so they were really part of the fabric of the community. And so when the community came out to watch them play, this was their local grocery bagger, and it was people that they knew that they could identify with, and it kind of created this really unique symbiotic relationship between the community and the sports team, which is, I think, a little bit different than it is today in professional sports. And so I kind of think it harkened back to maybe a better time in sports when there was more of that unique relationship.
All right, so can you tell me about the most kind of notable characters of these kind of people you had to dig up their histories or find them, whatever it was?
Yeah, I think some of the more remarkable and colorful characters that we came across in our research. One was Jim Bouton, who was a World Series winning pitcher for the New York Yankees, and Jim wrote the best-selling sports book of all time called Ball 4 after his time with the Yankees, and kind of was an expose on Major League Baseball and had essentially been blackballed from Major League Baseball. No team wanted to sign him, and the only team in America that would give him a second chance to play baseball was the Portland Mavericks. So he came out here, and he was a real colorful character. Another one is a longtime Portlander, Rob Nelson, who invented Big League Chew bubblegum and has been out here for a while. He was a relief pitcher on the team and actually was living in South Africa when he first heard about the team and traveled all the way from South Africa to play on the team. One of our favorite filmmakers who we loved was a filmmaker named Todd Field, and he's a Oscar-nominated filmmaker of In the Bedroom and Little Children, and was actually the bat boy for the team. And then there's obviously our Uncle Kurt, who's become a very well-known actor over the years. So and had all these great Hollywood connections.
And Pulitzer Prize nominated author on the team too, Larry Colton, and Kurt, like you mentioned. It was guys that kind of a lot of them credited their time with the Mavericks, and kind of as a real pivotal moment in their lives, and kind of something that they absolutely cherished.
Okay, and another, what is it about this story why should this story be told? What was it? At what point were you like, okay, I'm in it this far, I'm in it this much money, now I have to do it?
Right. The first one was just finding out when that was the only independent team in America. And so I think when we heard that, it was immediately what is independent baseball? What does that mean? And we started researching that. And I think that it really, I think when people see this film and they see the unique quality of the baseball team, I think it makes people wonder, why aren't sports like that today? Well, Major League Baseball is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. It doesn't have that same intimacy and independence that the Mavericks embodied, and so I think it's really resonating with people. Also, the Mavericks were driven out of town by Major League Baseball, and I think that's kind of a story playing out all through America, where these kind of bigger corporate powers push out the smaller independent labels, and so I think it's something like that that's been really resonating with people outside of the sports world.
Yeah, I think that we obviously found the story because it is a family story, but we almost put more scrutiny on it, because it was it's interesting to us because this kind of has to do with our family, but will other people find it interesting? And we've just been really fortunate. These guys were such great characters, and the team was it's a great story kind of about a guy who really does whatever he wants to do, and he kind of goes up against powers that are kind of built against him. And I think that's a story that a lot of people can identify with.